Hi, I'm Melinda with beanhoppers.com and the Opinionated Coffee Reviewer. Today I am talking about the Aero coffee maker, and I'm going to go over the features, functions, pros and cons, and I'm going to tell you how I like it and how I use it, and I'm going to give you my opinion. It might be good, it might be bad, but either way it's going to be honest. So let's get started. So the AeroPress coffee maker is relatively new on the coffee market, and when I first got it, I was a little hesitant to. I didn't think it was going to really make great coffee because it's made of plastic. All the parts are plastic, and so I wasn't quite sure about it, but I gave it a chance, and I'm really glad I did. So I'll go over the parts. It comes with a coffee maker. And a plunger, and as well as a filter cap, a funnel so you don't spill coffee all over the place, which I usually forget to use and spill coffee all over the place because that's how I roll. It has a scoop, which I really like. It's a good size, and it has a paddle stirrer, and it also comes with a bunch of filters. Now, typically, I taste the paper when I use paper filters, so I'm a little particular about it. But honestly, I don't even rinse these, and I don't really taste the paper, and I'm assuming it's probably because they're so small. I don't really know, but being sensitive to that flavor and I don't taste it, it's pretty good. The coffee maker is one of the easiest coffee makers I've ever used for small servings. Now it says that on the coffee maker itself, it says it does 4 cups. Now that's not four of my cups. That's one of my cups. So I will fill it all the way up to the just above the 4, and that's 1 cup for me because we're really only using a scoop and a half, and that's probably going to get me like 10 ounces of liquid, and that's it. So for me, it is a single cup coffee maker. Now they also call this an espresso maker. However, most things that I've used that call it an espresso maker really don't make true espresso because you have to have pressure behind the brew to make it espresso. And this doesn't do that. However, I recently found a formula that is probably the closest I've come to making something that tastes very similar to espresso as I've found in anything that's not considered a real espresso maker. So, and I'll tell you how to do that too. But I'm just going to demonstrate how the coffee maker actually works. So, like I said, the coffee maker, the filters. Filter goes into the filter holder. The filter holder goes onto the bottom of the coffee maker. So easy. Grab your favorite mug. This one's Mama needs a refill. It's perfect size. I love it. Now, one of the negatives I have about this coffee maker is that you kind of have to get a cup that fits just right underneath the brewer, because otherwise if it's too big it'll fall a little bit into it, and it's really not very friendly on larger cups. So taller and thinner mugs work better. Okay, so I'm going to use it, the funnel. To brew up to the 4, you would use a scoop and a half of coffee. Now you could use less water and get a much stronger cup. Now on this scoop, it's really cool. So they say to use 17 grams. 1 full scoop is around 11 grams, and a half a scoop. There's a little line, you can't see it I know on the video, but there's a little line about halfway up. And it's pretty easy to eyeball and just pop that second half in there. Now the coffee that I use, I'm basically following the instructions that AeroPress gave me, and I get amazing coffee. They say to use a medium fine grind, so I every time I get a new brewer, I test it and test it and test it, and then I write down my favorite grind size on my Grind Like a Boss chart here. And so for the AeroPress, I use a 4.5, like my regular drip coffee, I use a 6. So I always know when I go back to it what to set my grinder on. And so it's about 17 grams of coffee, medium fine grind, into the coffee brewer with the funnel, if you remember to use it, which I usually don't. And I have hot water that's 30 seconds off boil. Now that is going to be between 195 and 205, so it's just the right proper amount, proper temperature for a perfectly brewed coffee. And I'm going to fill it up to the 4 mark. Super easy, see? I'm going to give it a few stirs, maybe 6 or 10 stirs or so. Grab my napkin, excuse me. 6 or 10 stirs or so, super easy. Now if you want it to sit, you can let it sit for a minute, but the fact that you're stirring it with the stir stick agitates the coffee with the water, and so I really don't feel like it needs to be steeped for any longer. So I might let it sit for a second, and then the next step is just to plunge it down, and I usually take it kind of slow, and it's about 30 seconds ish. So you've already got the time that you're stirring it, and you've got the plunging time, and for me that's honestly enough time to get a great brew. Now sometimes it's a little tough to push down, it feels a little hard, but I just kind of just take my time. They say that to stop when you hear the hissing. I just keep going until I'm done. It doesn't seem to make a difference to me, and I'm pretty sensitive. So one of my favorite things about this coffee maker is the cleanup. My cup, usually this is in the trash. You take the filter cap off. You can see that. Take the filter cap off, put it in the sink, and so you have the filter left on the bottom of the coffee there. You literally just pop it in the trash. You're done. You rinse everything off. You don't even need to do anything. You rinse it off, wipe it off with a paper towel, just set it in your drain board. I typically prefer to store it separated, only because this little rubber here, this little plunger has rubber around the edges. And if you store it inside your coffee maker, eventually it's going to wear it out. So I always keep them separate. You can, however, plunge it. It's a little tough when it's dry. Plunge it all the way through and see it sticks out just a touch. Now that's okay because it's not putting any pressure on that rubber gasket, and it will last a lot longer. I've seen complaints about the rubber getting worn out, and they'll sell replacement parts and whatnot. But if you just plunge it all the way through or keep it separate, I've had it, I don't know, 6 months or so. It's not a problem at all. So I have a beautifully brewed cup of coffee and a single serve. So if I'm at home and it's just me having coffee, it's like the perfect thing. You don't need a fancy kettle with a gooseneck. You don't need expensive equipment. This is $30, and we sell them at beanhoppers.com. So you can pop on over to my website and buy one, or you can buy it on Amazon, however you like. They do sell replacement parts, and what's really cool is they sell accessories, aftermarket accessories, and I love playing with different methods and whatnot. So they have these little filters that they're mesh and they're different sizes. They're sold by Coretto, and you can do a mesh filter instead of a paper filter. You don't have to worry about the paper. But what I don't like about these aftermarket parts is you know how I had the paper filter on the end and I popped it off? Well, you can't just pop it off. You have to kind of remove the metal filter, and it's kind of hot. So I don't know, I just end up using the paper most of the time. Now, I was telling you that this coffee maker also can do espresso. It just requires a little bit of different technique. You would use a finely ground coffee, like espresso grind, super fine. You would put it in the coffee maker with a filter, just like you would regular, okay? So you put the 2 whole scoops of finely ground coffee into the coffee maker, and then you only fill it up to 2. Then you take something, like I use a Lowry's jar to pretend like it's a tamper. Maybe somebody will make another aftermarket part, because that would be kind of cool. You pretend like it's a tamper, and you tamp it down. You do the same thing. You pour the water over. You plunge it as hard as you can, but it's going to take a little bit of elbow grease, because there's going to be some pressure buildup because you just tamped finely ground coffee, and it tastes so similar to espresso. It even gets a tiny bit of crema, not much, but a tiny bit, which is telling me that the pressure is pretty close. But it's probably not ever gonna get to 15 bars of pressure, but I have no idea how to measure that. So it does taste really good though. And you can it'll come through in a milk-based drink, so you can make espresso type drinks. So overall, I really love this coffee maker. I recommend it to everybody. I'm going to provide a link below to purchase it. And if you need amazing, freshly roasted coffee sent to your house on auto ship, check out our website at beanhoppers.com. We're a hot air roaster, which is one of the best ways you can roast your coffee beans, because it is healthier for you, it tastes better, it's less acidic, and it's amazing. You have to try it. So check us out, and please let me know if you liked this video, if I answered all your questions. I hope I did, and I probably left something out, but give me a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you can get more videos and honest opinions about coffee making equipment. Have a great day.